What's up, Internet? It's Chris from RedBeard TV, and I'm here to review Far Cry Primal from Ubisoft. Now, Far Cry Primal, let me just start by saying, it is the most Far Cry game of the Far Cry series. Let me use 3 and 4 as an example. In 3 and 4, you're just a character that's dropped into an environment, and all of a sudden, you're hunting animals and using their skins to, craft better weapons or carry bags for your materials. But, how did those people have that knowledge before? I would assume that if I were dropped on an island with my friends and I was vacationing on, I would just hope there'd be an REI or a gun store close by, because that's what I would go to. I don't know how to craft shit. But in Far Cry Primal, you play as a caveman, so clearly you already have these abilities. So in that sense, it feels very, very much like the Far Cry that we all know and love. So if you're a fan of the franchise, this one's a no-brainer. It feels like what should have been the very first Far Cry. Your character moves really fast. Even though locations might be far away, if you're running to them, you can get there relatively quick. And later on in the game, you can get upgrades that really kind of shift the gameplay, where you can then ride and tame animals, and that makes traversal much, much faster. So, that being said, it's very, very much the truest Far Cry game. All of the crafting makes way more sense, to the point where you're not really even picking up bullets or guns. You can collect arrows and spears, but by and large, your weapons are disposable. So you do spend most of the time collecting and gathering materials so you can make your spears or upgrade your pack or even upgrade your village that you're collecting all of your tribespeople to. A couple other facts that I really love about the game are the visuals are just amazing. This is the first new-gen console version of Far Cry, and it really shows. The environments are incredibly dynamic, all the way from grasslands, woodlands, to kind of like a snowy northern region, where of course there's a lot more woolly mammoths because they like to stay warm in the cold. The lighting is just so incredibly dynamic. When the sun comes up or when the sun sets, I've caught myself a lot of times just stopping and kind of taking in how beautiful the world of Oros is. And I really love swimming. That's one of the things too. After coming off of hundreds and hundreds of hours of Fallout and swimming in really murky water, it's a treat to be able to swim in water that's kind of been unpolluted by man, and it's very crystal clear and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, untouched world, but at the same time, it's extremely violent. It seems like a lot of your tribespeople constantly have blood on their hands. Another element which is really cool that I loved is the heavy inclusion of animals. Not only are you just hunting animals in this one, but you can make them your friends and you can tame them. There's animals such as, wolves, saber-toothed tigers, cave lions, mammoths, bears, things like that, all of which you can tame and then just call in whenever you want to either ride them or use them to attack other enemies, or like I do, most of my hunting is done by using another animal. They just, hey, go take out that legendary or that rare animal so I can get its skin. I'm gonna have my saber-toothed tiger do that because it runs faster than I do. A couple things that I didn't love about this one in comparison to the other series is that by and large, for most of the game, when you're taking out an outpost, it's pretty straightforward. It's really basic. In 3 and 4, you really needed a lot of strategy, especially in Blood Dragon, if you were gonna go take an outpost. That was kind of the name of the game. In this one, in Far Cry Primal, it's kind of a secondary mission. It's not necessarily the focus to expand your people. You kind of just clear an area and it can be really easy, especially if you use one of your animals. You just call them in, and if it's a small enough group, they can just take out all of them. So I've never really encountered too many troubles in taking out an outpost, which I did in previous Far Cry series. The thing is, if you're a big fan of guns or quick shooters, or if you really love the vehicular aspect of Far Cry, this isn't necessarily the game for you because it doesn't have them. It's 10,000 BC, no cars, sorry. If you love the wingsuit in the other one, there is a flying element in the game where you can call upon an owl and they can scout out an area in front of you and they can also attack, and it's like a one-hit kill. So it's a great feature, but I barely used it. I don't know why, I just didn't. I would just encounter dudes and they'd be far enough away where I would generally see them before they saw me, so I didn't really have to use the owl very much. That being said, I really, really enjoyed Far Cry Primal in an atmosphere of video games where so many games are advanced shooters or they're future soldiers or things like that. In the concept of the game, and quite literally in time, Ubisoft went in the exact opposite direction. And it was a really brave move, and I feel like it really, really paid off. If you're a fan of the franchise, or you simply want to try something that's very, very different than what you've played before, Far Cry Primal is absolutely for you. I would give Far Cry Primal 8 out of 10 caveman thumbs up. It's snowing.
find out who's dead.